Good, beautiful morning to all you good, beautiful beings out there. How you doing today? This morning's been a little bit rough for us around here, but, whatever. We just roll with it, just roll with the punches. And my sciatic has been pinching lately, which is not an enjoyable thing. I was doing a little bit of reading on it, and I'm pretty sure that it's due to a joint in the hip, and the sciatic nerve runs in between this joint, and it runs in between the bone and a tendon, tendons and ligaments. If I'm remembering this correctly, I don't know. I just read it. But as I was standing there reading it, I saw the nerve goes in between these things. It's in the joint between the bone and the tendons that support the joint. So the other bone is on the other side. Reading this and just thinking, maybe we could have designed that one better. Maybe that, I don't know how, but maybe if there was, I guess we didn't have titanium for tubes and stuff yet. At any rate, I was trying to figure this thing out, right? So I'm reading this article on different yoga poses and stuff like this, and I was in the living room, just starting off with a little bit of just taking my thumbs and just I know you can't really see, but just right there on either side of the sacrum, right where it wants to have that natural curve already, and coming up, I'm trying to tell you as I'm doing it, so it's a little bit more difficult maybe, and I'm face sideways. Let's see. So my weight is on the ball of my feet, but a little bit back, so it's also shared by my heels, and just balanced and feet together, right together, and pushing in a little bit as I'm straightening my spine and coming up like there's a hook and an eye right here, right in the middle of my spine, in the center of my being. Because remember, you got to remember, the spine has these curves in it, but then there can be going straight down. There are all these center lines, right? So what we want to do is get all of that aligned and pulling up through as we're giving easy pressure on the lower part of our back. And for me, it's like, it's heaven. It is such heavenly bliss just to be able to stand without discomfort, and when you get it right, when you get the breathing right, it's like this rush of energy that just comes and fills up, and you get a little bit lightheaded, and it's a very cool energy, but it's like a cool burn. It's really cool. So I was doing some of that, and I started to feel better, and then I started lifting my knees up, because the problem is that I skipped leg day too much. Don't ever skip leg day, they're right. No, I mean, seriously, I think the problem is that I sat for too long. I had the opportunity to mostly sit for most of a couple of years, and when we get inactive, our bodies they start saying, "Hey, We don't need that stuff so much anymore. You got to keep up with it. You got to do the maintenance if you expect the car to keep running. I don't know whose voice that was. Sounded a little bit like Christopher Walken in my head. Got to do the maintenance. You want to keep the car on the road. So I was doing this, and then I was remembering what it was saying in this article. And a few months ago, I worked for a guy who was, he's a physical therapist. And I had this going on then too. He told me it was the SI joint. I can't remember what that's called, but I'm sure if you Google it, it'll come to something. The SI joint, I think, is this same joint that this other article was talking about, although it was calling it something different. At any rate, he showed me some exercises from a seated position to help move that back into place. And, you know, sciatica sucks, y'all. It's like right at your hip. Somebody just went in and went, ka-ing! And your muscles want to tighten up, and all the way, let's just say this is my leg, all the way down the leg to the toes, there can be this pulsating, throbbing sensation going down. It could very easily be pain. You know, especially if the timeline is stretched out, and it's like, and the idea is, when will I not be in pain anymore, or when will I be done with this particular thing? You know, you do that, and then it just becomes this situation of desire for it, which actually is the reason that I made the video, although this has just been consciously streaming. Desire is a weird thing. That which we want, we usually don't get. And of course, that which we want, a lot of the times we don't need. And we shouldn't get. We're really dumb. You know that? Human beings are, we'll put it that way. Not even human beings. People. People are dumb. Beyond the person, you know, A-okay. But, yeah, so desire, if you want something, then they call it the law of attraction. I don't know who they are, but they call it that. Through the law of attraction, if you desire something, that something is then pushed away from you. It's like this weird polarity shift, because as you want something, you are putting your energy at it, but it's an energy that comes from a state of need or desire, which is like one side of the coin only. It's like the dark side. Come to the dark side. So it's the dark side of that, and the light side of the equation would be simply setting your intention. So first comes the desire, then comes marriage, then comes so-and-so with a baby carriage. Wait a minute. What was that? First comes desire. And then from that desire, you set your intention. And I was realizing, this is what made me make the whole video. I was realizing as I was doing those exercises to try to pop it back, that I was wanting to be better. I was wanting to be, wanting to be healed. Hallelujah. But I can't I can't control my body. So instead, I set my intention to be feeling better. Sorry, I'm trying to find out where all this is going up here, because I'm coming at you at the speed of thought right now. Well, I guess it's kind of the speed of talk. At any rate, I set my intention and then just was, I guess. And that's what led to going back to this, which has relieved me of the pain that the other exercises did not relieve me of. So that's why I'm sharing it with you, I guess. I don't know, it's kind of funny. I wanted to make this great big profound video about desire, and law of attraction, and need, and all this kind of stuff. But then it just kind of fiddled off into something else. Interesting. The mind is a funny thing. You can't control where the mind wants to go. Isn't this so? And the thoughts is, I used to have this thing where I would I used to have this thing, I guess I still kind of have this thing, it's up there somewhere, but I would think about what I was going to say before I said it, and I would think about the thought about what I was going to say, and then I would think about the thought of the thought, and you can see how it can just be like a snowball that starts up here and it comes down here and it just gets bigger. And I used to feel that it was so great that I could do this, like, wow, check out this this power, but not so good. I gotta go. Shalom, shalom, salam, salam, peace.